Hello and welcome to the Aryaman Show. I am your host Aryaman Upasni, and we're here for the long-awaited IPL final between Kolkata Knight Riders and Sunrisers Hyderabad. Today in this video, we'll be doing a preview of the match. We'll be talking about what the playing 11s could be for both of these teams, and we'll also be having a look into this IPL season in brief. So don't go anywhere, and let's start without any further ado. Like I said, finally, it's almost time. After so much waiting, it's almost time for the IPL finals. I'm shooting on the day of finals, and as you can see, I am wearing the shirt of my favorite team, also, whom I'll be supporting today. Honestly, I'm surprised how the past couple of months just passed, and after all, people do say time just flies, and it really did. And we've had quite an interesting season this year as well. Um, in the start of the season, it got a bit monotonous with teams having very high scoring games and very one sided games where the pitches were not that well balanced. But as the season progressed, as time passed, we saw much more tighter games. We saw low scoring but really competitive games. And of course, like every time, by the time the fight for the top four began, towards the third leg of the season, it became a very interesting and a very exciting season. From calculating points and net run rate and discussing what possibilities do team have to qualify for the playoffs. It just felt like the good old IPL. And this year, especially the fight for the fourth place, it was really, really intense. The fight for the first three places, it was not quite there because Kolkata and Rajasthan and even Sunrisers Hyderabad to a point, they played pretty consistently throughout the season. Um, of course, there were small periods in between where Kolkata lost a couple of matches, Rajasthan lost a couple of matches, even Sunrisers Hyderabad uh, could not get the result in there. That is, uh, that was also the reason why Rajasthan and Sunrisers were one of the that is also one of the reason why Rajasthan and Sunrisers took a little bit more time than Kolkata to qualify, because Kolkata was the first team to qualify and with games in hand, and in spite of two of the games being abandoned without a ball bowled because of rain, Kolkata still were the table toppers with 20 points. RR was the second one to qualify, after which it was Hyderabad. And then there was the fight for the fourth. And like I said, it was a pretty intense fight. You had RCB, you had CSK, you had Delhi Capitals, you had Lucknow Super Giants, all fighting for that fourth place. And somehow all of them, all four of these teams tied on points. It was only because of the net run rate that actually helped RCB proceed to the playoffs. And it was really unlikely because of how they played throughout the season. After I think the first 8 games they played, they won only a single game and they had lost 7 games. And their percentage of chances of going to the playoffs was, I think, 1% or even lesser. And from that to winning 6 games on the trot, and then going into the playoffs, that was just magical from Royal Challengers Bengaluru, including that narrow victory over CSK in that last over. After the first ball where MSD hit the six, a lot of us, including me, felt that okay, it's CSK that's going to go into the playoffs. But the way Yash Dayal took MSD's wicket and the way he bowled those slower balls deceived Jadeja and Shardul, who were on strike, and literally carried RCB home. It was something you never see, or something you never normally see in cricket. So for RCB, this was a pretty magnificent season, in spite of them, losing out in the eliminator. But I think it was a very good season that they had. They had a lot of downs, but they rose up. Unfortunately, of course, couldn't continue their winning streak, but it was a good enough season for them. Now that we're already talking about RCB going into the playoffs, let's just talk about those playoffs for a moment there. The first playoff was between KKR and SRH, the winner of which would go to the final. Um, SRH, you would think that they would go on, they would have a big score, but I think God had other plans for them that day, because it was Mitchell Stark who came up first over and dismissed Travis Head with a beautiful swinging delivery, going straight between his bat and his legs. And I think it was that, along with I think the first 3 or 4 wickets that just went so regularly, uh, it kind of blew their confidence, in spite of Rahul Tripathi playing a good innings and scoring a 50, and even Heinrich Klaassen joining him and helping him build a partnership which ultimately took SRH to 159, if I'm not wrong. So, in spite of both of them playing really well and taking their team up, um, you saw another kind of a fumble from the SRH side towards the end of their innings. Could not score a lot of runs then. Um, I think the last batsman did manage to score a few runs and did take SRH to 159. But overall, it felt like a really below par score, considering the batting abilities of your opposition KKR, and of course the pitch, which usually in the second half does favor the batsman. And as you know, we've seen that before. 19th November is the hint, but never mind, let's not go there. uh, Other than that, it was KKR's beautiful batting display. They had one change, of course, Ramanullah Gurbaz coming in for Phil Salt, who had to leave to England to participate in the series of England versus Pakistan that is going on right now. So KKR did lose a major player over there, but they still had Gurbaz, who started off really well with Narain, and then it was all Venkatesh Iyer and Shreyas Iyer who carried the game till the last ball and won the game for Kolkata Knight Riders. And also, I think we need to talk about Shreyas Iyer. I remember in the start of the season, I was talking about how he's playing really slow, how he's not scoring runs. He seems a bit low on confidence. Maybe it was the BCCI not awarding him a contract that made him feel a bit low, lose a bit of confidence. But like I said on my podcast, he probably needs to take a few more risks and try to hit those big shots, and maybe that will help him build the confidence. And he kind of did just that. He did play those risky shots, got dismissed, I think, a couple of times on very low scores, but still after that, he took those risks, very calculated risks. And even though he kind of started the innings in a slower, steady way, let's say the first 7 or 8 balls, he switched the gears and then he used to go ballistic, scored a lot of runs, and importantly, he is in form right now, and that is very advantageous to KKR. It was advantageous to them for the qualifiers, and it will be advantageous to them for the finals. Moving on to the eliminator between Rajasthan Royals and RCB. It was RCB who batted first in Ahmedabad and posted a good score around 172. Some would say it was still a bit low, but I think it was okay-ish. Maybe if they would have added another 15 runs or maybe 20 runs, it would have been their game. Um, overall, a pretty decent batting performance from RCB. Virat Kohli scored a few. He scored 33. Cameron Green scored 27. Rajat Patidar scored 34. Mahipal Mumro scored 32. And these small contributions from a lot of players, this accumulated and took RCB to a total of 172, giving Rajasthan Royals a target of 173. Rajasthan Royals pretty much finished the game off in style. Yashasvi Jaiswal started off really well, scored 45 of 30 runs. Tom Kohler, Cadmore, again, a decent start, could not convert into a big run. But I think the most disappointing batsman for Rajasthan has to be Sanju Samson. I agree, he has played, I think, 5 innings or 6 innings. He's played those 5 or 6 innings really well. Scored half centuries as well. But when you look at 15 games, those 5 games don't matter really a lot, because if you're scoring 15 runs or less in those 10 games and they're just scoring 5 half centuries, it's no use. That is also the reason why I was favoring KL Rahul for the World Cup more than Sanju Samson, because Sanju Samson is inconsistent, but he's consistently inconsistent. You know what I mean? Um, you can never rely on Sanju Samson. He is not the person who would probably take your team through if you are in a final or if you're in a very pressure situation. You simply cannot rely on him. And even the way he scored runs throughout this tournament, even if I think scored 500 odd runs or something, um, almost similar to KL Rahul, who might have scored 20, 25, 30 runs less than him. But KL Rahul has done that consistently. He's scored at least 20 to 30 runs in each game, unlike Sanjay Samson, who has scored 10 games in one, then he scored 50 in another, and he's gone out for a duck, then he's again played a 10, 12 run innings, and then he's gone on to score a 80 or a 90, and then for the next 3, 4 games, again he's been scoring 10 runs or less. So I think that really was a defining moment for Rajasthan Royals, and that is also a flaw inside the squad. Sanjay Samson is a good player, as people say, but I honestly, like I always say, I find him to be a bit overrated than he actually is. But other than that, uh, the rest of the players, they played really well, and it was Roman Powell who really finished things off in a hurry in the 19th over, uh, helping Rajasthan Royals win the match by 4 runs and going into the second qualifier game. Going into qualifier two, which wasn't a very good game for Rajasthan Royals. Sunrisers Hyderabad batted first, scored 175 runs in spite of all odds. There was really good bowling from Rajasthan, and they did take wickets in important times. And Sunrisers did had to huff and puff a bit, but they reached 175, which was a good total. But unfortunately for Rajasthan, this game wasn't for them. Um, because after all, they only scored 139 runs, out of which 45 was scored by Yashasvi Jaiswal, and almost 50 runs was scored by Dhruv Jurel. He scored a half century for Rajasthan Royals, which was good. But then you did not see any other players rising up to the occasion. Tom Kohler, Cadmore. Um, of course, I did not expect much from him. He has just come into IPL. I think he's played 3 or 4 games, if not more. So of course, you do need a bit time to adjust if you're new to this setting and to this tournament. But uh, I did expect more from Sanju Samson and Rian Parag. but I wouldn't blame Ryan Parag alone. It's because he has performed really well throughout the season. He's been very consistent. He's been scoring those runs. But Sanju Samson, like I was saying, very inconsistent. You cannot absolutely rely on him when you need him the most, and he just doesn't perform when you need him the most. So I think hence proved. But other than that, no other players actually batted well for Rajasthan, and that led to them losing the match by 36 runs, and that meant SRH went on to the finals to meet their fated rivals, Kolkata Knight Riders, once again. Before we do move on to previewing the final and talking about the final and the playing 11, we also should take a look at what, according to me, are the underachievers this season. For me, for sure, it has to be Gujarat Titans. They played really well the last couple of seasons, ever since the franchise came into existence in 2022. MI2 had a very disturbing season, uh, very disappointing one, of course, but there was just so much disturbance I feel within the team, and maybe a lot more because of the media. There were so many reports about so many things about Mumbai Indians and about their changing room and the management. It was not a very calm place, to be at, and I think the chaos that was surrounding them somehow got to the players, and that is why um, they could not perform as they usually do. And the link between Gujarat Titans and Mumbai Indians, Hardik Pandya. Hardik left Gujarat. He left a void there, which is something Shubman Gill could not deal with. That is why Gujarat lost. They performed terribly in this season, lost a lot of matches, and ultimately got eliminated pretty soon. Uh, Same with Mumbai. He came to Mumbai, and he also created some sort of void because Mumbai's management, they took the captaincy from Rohit and gave it to Hardik Pandya. Now I don't know if that was done willingly or that was consensual or it was all brotherly between them. I don't know. Reports say otherwise, but again, I don't trust those reports very much. But there was some tension, there was some void that was created in the Mumbai Indians dressing room as well, and that is what affected them, and they underperformed really. They underperformed terribly. Uh, I think other than them, it was probably Punjab. But Punjab is a regular underachiever, so it's nothing really new. But talking about overachievers, Sunrisers Hyderabad really performed well this year. They did not quite play that well last season or the season before that, if I'm not wrong. But the way their team was built around this year, the way their players have performed, and way they've batted and bowled, of course, it was a delight to watch. And of course, it was just that consistent play by the batsmen and the bowlers that have led them to this moment. That is why I rate them as one of the overachievers. And similar for Kolkata, they are major overachievers this season because the last couple of seasons for them as well have been really bad after that 2021 final loss to CSK. Um, they saw a dip in form. Shreyas Iyer was injured, which meant he had to miss a season. So there was again the whole dynamics of the team changed around there, and last couple of seasons did not perform well. This year they came in with a good squad with a lot of promise, and with Gautam Gambhir in the pavilion as mentor. One did expect many things from them, and they have delivered, and they have delivered successfully. I mean, If not for these matches which were abandoned due to rain, I think Kolkata could have easily reached 22 points in the table. So that was really impressive game. On one side, teams are fighting for the fourth position while being on the 14 points, and here is Kolkata Knight Riders who are on the top and who had two games washed out, but they still didn't matter because they had qualified pretty early into the season. So that was really fun for them. So that was really fun for us to watch. Now, talking about the finals between Kolkata Knight Riders and Sunrisers Hyderabad, Kolkata do have an edge over SRH. Out of the times that they faced each other, Kolkata have first of all defeated Sunrisers Hyderabad three times in this season. Second, overall, Kolkata have beaten SRH 18 times, and Sunrisers Hyderabad have only managed to defeat Kolkata 9 times. So that means KKR has a huge advantage over them. So the pressure will be on Sunrisers Hyderabad. But again, like always, there is always a caveat. And this time it's Pat Cummins. He's the master of handling pressure. He's an amazing leader as well. He's been in this pressure situation a lot of times, not only for Hyderabad, but also for Australia, uh, which he has been captaining for a long time. So that's a change around this time for Sunrisers Hyderabad. And Sunrisers also has Travis Head, who has the ability to rise and perform when the team needs him, and especially in the finals when it matters the most, as we've seen this before. So this is going to be a really interesting game. What I would watch out for is how Narayan and Gurbaz bat today, because whenever Narayan has fired, whenever usually felt salt, but this time, whenever the openers, both of the openers have fired, Kolkata have reached a good target and they've been able to post a good total, or if they're chasing, then they've able to successfully chase the target down. This time, however, the game's in Chennai at Chepauk. The pitch is a bit different throughout the season. It has been fluctuating a bit. Maybe it has been a bit slow. So there, and also there is a factor of dew in the second innings when the night comes. So maybe I'm hoping, or I'm assuming that KKR would be choosing to chase the total rather than set the total, ideally. But other than that, even if they have to set the total, like I said, they have Venkatesh Iyer, they have Shreyas Iyer, who both of them who have been in tremendous form. Shreyas Iyer, like I said, was not in good form, but has progressed throughout the season, and now he seems to be in good touch. You also have Rinku and Russell, both the musclemen, ability to hit, and you have Ramandeep Singh, who has played, um, not in every single game, because he plays a bit low in the order, but he's played enough for us to know that he will be an important player if Kolkata do have to set the total, or even if they have to chase. And of course, Kolkata does have the option of Nitish Rana and Manish Pandey in case they want to bring in an impact sub who can bat. So Kolkata, in the batting category, they are, airtight. They can score runs whether if they are setting a target or if they're chasing one. Of course, they'll always prefer chasing it. But Kolkata basically has a very airtight batting unit. And even if you look at bowling, you have Narayan, you have Varun Chakrabarti, you have Harshit Rana, all three of them who have impressed us throughout the season. Mitchell Stark wasn't in the best of his form, leaked a lot of runs in the start of the season, but again, as the season progressed, maybe he got a bit used to his surroundings, to his teammates, and something kind of clicked for him there, and he has been performing really well in the second leg of this season. And you also have Vaibhav Arora, who probably is not as consistent as Harshit Rana in terms of taking wickets, but he's also a very good bowler and he can take those early wickets which can damage SRH. So basically, all it means is that KKR just have to stay with what they've been doing throughout the season, as it has worked really well for them. Stick to their plans, stick to what they've been doing, and they'll have a third title, courtesy of mentor Gautam Gambhir. I honestly feel he's a lucky charm for this team. I mean, whenever he's near the team, they always sort of win. So who knows? Maybe this time we're luckier than in 2021. As for Sunrisers Hyderabad, like I said, both the teams are very kind of equal to each other. They're very well balanced. Both of them have killer batting units. Both of them have really good bowling units as well. We really don't need to uh, talk a lot about batting for SRH when they've already scored 277 runs in one innings. The highest score ever in IPL history, overtaking the previous feat by RCB. So a really good batting unit. They have uh, Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma leading. Then you have Heinrich Klaassen. You have Rahul Tripathi, who's been playing really well. You have Aiden Markram as well. You have Nitish Reddy, who's you have Nitish Reddy, who's played really well for SRH. Has not got those big runs yet, but he's been very consistent. Has scored 30, 35 runs consistently, and has been a value addition to the team, has been contributing to the team as well. If you talk about bowling, you have Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, Pat Cummins, T. Natarajan, Shahbaz Ahmed, uh, who have been really good for SRH throughout the season. And Pat Cummins will just be hoping that all of his players, um, you know, deliver when the team needs it the most. And Pat Cummins will just be hoping that the players deliver when he needs them to the most. Moving on to the playing 11, I forecast the same playing 11 for Kolkata Knight Riders. No changes from the last playoff. I see Gurbaz and Narayan opening, followed by Venkatesh Iyer, Shreyas Iyer, Ramandeep Singh, Rinku Singh, Andrew Russell, Varun Chakrabarti, Harshit Rana, Vaibhav Arora, Mitchell Stark. Also, they do have Manish Pandey, Nitish Rana, um, Suyash Sharma, Anukul Roy as substitutes. I don't see them using those, but if Kolkata does need them in critical situations, they also have a pretty impressive list of substitutes they can use. Meanwhile, SRH will be going forward, I think, with a similar 11 as they did in the last playoff game. No changes, I assume. They'll be going forward with Abhishek Sharma, Travis Head, Rahul Tripathi, Heinrich Klaassen, Aiden Markram, Nitish Reddy, Abul Samad, T. Natarajan, Bhuvi, Pat Cummins, and Shahbaz Ahmed. Uh, a- like I said, a very balanced team, a very good batting unit, a very good bowling unit. They also have a couple of very good all rounders over there. Abhishek Sharma, a unique all rounder. He took, I think, a wicket or two in the last game he played against Rajasthan. Shahbaz Ahmed as well. He can bat, but he can bowl really well. So it's going to be a really tough game, horns locked and everything. Uh, so overall, a very tough game, both the teams with their horns locked. A very exciting game. This is going to be very balanced teams. Exciting brand of cricket they've been playing throughout the season. And what better occasion than the grand finale of the season in the finals? I'll see you after the finals with a brand new video, talking about how the finals went and, taking a preview on the upcoming T20 World Cup. After all, the first batch of the Indian cricketers for the World Cup have already left. So I think it's the most appropriate time to talk about it. Uh, Till then, stay tuned. Follow Aryaman Upasni on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe this video, hit the bell icon. Follow me on Spotify at the Aryaman Show. You can also find the Aryaman Show on Instagram. Follow me. If you have any suggestions or if you have any feedback, you can obviously write it down in the comments, or you could DM me on Instagram and I'll reply to it. Also, if you have any suggestions so as to videos or any other thing, let me know. Cheers. Stay happy and watch the finals tonight.